Beast Wars Season 3, Episode 3, Changing of the Guard. This is a really cool episode because we actually get to see some of the old wreckage from the original base, because the whole mission from this episode is to actually get Sentinel from the old base. And I mentioned this in my last review that going through the little booklet, they have pictures from later seasons. So I showed this in the last review that I did. This is from this episode, even though this shows up during like the season 1 episode list. This is okay, I feel, to show compared to the other one, which showed like a brand new character that doesn't show up, like I mentioned, for 2 extra seasons, which just terrible placement for that picture. But this whole episode is kind of centered around Rattrap. He's the main one sent on this mission. They put him in like this, basically it's like a little submarine glass ball. And it's got no power signal or anything. It's completely mechanical based, so it's just all based on motion. So he and Silverbolt are sent on this mission. Silverbolt, he drops him in the water, and he goes into the old base, and it's like, all right, I have to get to the center of the base to find the Sentinel console, and we'll get that. We'll have a great defense for our base. Everything will be good. It'll make it a lot easier to defend the Ark, and of course save not only ourselves, but all of history between the Autobots and Decepticons leading up to the Maximals and Predacons. So that's like the point of this episode. And he gets there, it gets really close, he gets this thing, and then he gets attacked by Rampage. So Rampage is like, Rampage is the giant crab, so he just grabs him in this ball and he's just crushing this thing, and it's like cracking open, water starting to seep in, and then Depth Charge comes in and he starts attacking him. And so he gets Rampage out of the way for a quick second, and Rattrap is like, hey, if you can distract him, you let me get this thing, I'll totally get out of your way, and I'll basically, I'll let you do exactly what you want to do. And so Depth Charge is like, alright, you got a deal, I'll distract him, and then once you're gone, we'll kick it up a notch and I'll like get rid of him. So he goes back in, he gets the console, and as this is happening, Depth Charge and Rampage are fighting each other, and it gets explosive, just like Depth Charge was saying it could. So it isn't really a little battle where he's distracting him. They're just shooting full missiles at each other. A missile, of course, hits the wreckage of the ship, and it knocks it off of the little precipice that it's already on underneath the water. So Rattrap is like, oh crap, I gotta pull this thing and like fly out of here before the ship crashes around me. Of course he does manage to escape, and he gets the console with him, and so they leave Depth Charge and Rampage to just like duke it out in the water, and Rattrap and Silverbolt take off, but Waspinator is coming in to deal with them as well. And they have like this crazy issue where they're, basically running through the jungle and stuff and trying to keep this thing away from Waspinator. And it's like, it's almost like a race, but not really, because of course they're trying to get back to base, but things just keep going wrong. You keep switching hands back and forth. It'll be like Rattrap has it, something will happen where he gets knocked off course, and he'll drop the console. Waspinator will pick it up. Silverbolt will like blast him out of the sky and grab it, and then Rampage will come back later in the episode and knock it out of his hand, so Waspinator can get it back, because Depth Charge is still fighting Rampage, so he was there for like a quick second. So it's a really cool episode where it's kind of like they're just kind of on this little race, and then Megatron is there, and Optimus, of course. It's just crazy thing where it's kind of just going full circle. And unfortunately, this is one of those few episodes where the Predacons do end up winning, because despite everything they did with the Maximals going through the wreckage and everything, getting Sentinel, Megatron kind of did his little thing where it's like, alright, let them do the work, and then we attack them and we steal it, and ultimately that actually worked. By the end of the episode, the Predacons actually end up with Sentinel, and they're able to install it in their base, so now they have the ultimate defense system, and the Maximals they still have a good defense system because they're literally in a mountain with one entrance. But obviously that was like the whole point of the episode, was to get this, piece of technology for them, reinstall it into the base, and then they could protect the entire mountain. I would assume the whole mountain would have had like the giant energy shield, because that's what Sentinel did. It wasn't just turrets. The Sentinel program itself created the entire force field that would protect them from blasts and stuff. So it was a really fun episode, but it's one of those things where it's really sad and it kind of sucks. It's like, man, this is one of those few episodes where it wasn't a draw. The Predacons flat out came out on top of this one, and I kind of like, that's one of the things I like about this show. Every once in a while, normally it's kind of the same thing where it's like the Maximals will win, and it ultimately comes down to a stalemate because like the Predacons will win a little bit, maximal reinforcements come in, Megatron gets whooped with all his other buddies, and then he's like, all right, well, time to go, and it kind of ends in a stalemate. But that's most of the episodes. It's like something bad's about to happen, Maximals stop it, or something good's about to happen, Predacons stop it. For the most part, maybe like some little good thing comes out of it, but mostly stalemate. Everyone goes back to their base. Wait till next week. And this is one of those few times where it was a definitive winner, and the winner was definitely the Predacon. So kind of sucky ending, but at the same time, it's one of those things you certainly appreciate because it's not just the same thing every single time. And it was enjoyable just watching it go back and forth because you didn't know who was going to end up with it, because it wasn't like, oh, I got it, and one character has it for a super long time. They kept changing it, back and forth through like this very small enclosed space, and it was pretty much Waspinator that had it for the most part. And if I remember right, Inferno came in as well, and that that'll kind of change stuff up, towards one side. But it was a pretty fun episode. I really enjoyed it. Of course, seeing Depth Charge and Rampage fight, that's kind of just entertaining in general because Depth Charge just doesn't care. Rampage is, of course, Predacon, so he doesn't care. And it just gets crazy between the two of them, so that was cool. But definitely an enjoyable episode and kind of a nice, different ending where the villains actually come out on top. So I always appreciate that sort of twist ending a little bit. And I thought this was a cool way to do it, where it's like, man, it kept going back and forth. You assume, the heroes are going to win. But Megatron was biding his time like he tends to do. And they did all the work, and he reaped the rewards, and I like that. It shows good villainy. That, simply put, that's good villainy. So I enjoyed that. But definitely a fun episode. Of course, if you guys have any comments on it or comments on anything Transformers in general, please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.